Hey guys, this week I'm doing something a little bit easier, something that you might actually use. But before we do that, I got to set up the vise. The vise needs to be aligned with my gauge here. This gauge is actually a metric gauge. Doesn't matter if it's metric or standard American. It'll still work as well, because all you need is if I can get it there, all you need is to sit on 0. So I'm going to set up the GoPro, and hopefully this will get the right angle, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, I've got this set up. Basically what you want to do is we're going to come in here. See, I got a wrench around here, that's the right side. It'd probably be better to use that. Alright. We're just going to snug that up. Just enough that it'll still rotate, but it won't move. Like it'll still allow this whole unit to rotate. It just won't move back and forth. So now we move into the jaw. Now I'm trying to do this around and through the camera, so please bear with me. We got 0, and then we feed across, and this is going to be really out of whack. Oh, see, we're even off the gauge now. Not a big deal. Now I'm bringing it to 0. Don't forget here, this is our locked point. So if it was out, if this side was further back, it means this side is also further back, because this is our pivot point. Go back. Okay. And I'm going to bring this table back out. And we're at 0. Alright, something you might notice, every time I come back to this point, I zero it. I don't zero it over here. It's really your own personal preference. I find that zeroing it on one spot, checking it, bringing it back, is usually the best way to do things. But like it's your personal preference. If you choose to do it a different way, I'm not telling you that you're doing it wrong. This is what I like to do. Oh, way too far back. All right. Now, as you can see, we're getting really close. Just a quick thing about this gauge. It is in metric, like I said. Each one of these, like the 10, 20, that's 1/10 of a millimeter. So if I were to bring this gauge all the way around, that would be 1 millimeter. Alright, let's bring that back to 0. We'll bring it across. We are 0.02 of a millimeter out. Oh, wrong way. Now let's zero it over there. For the last pass, it's not a big deal because you're not going to be moving by all that much. Alright, we are less than 0.01 of a millimeter off from about, say 100 thou to 100 thou in. And this is a 3-inch jaw. So, that seems good enough for me. I'm going to put in, I'm going to put the tooling in, and I'm going to put the workpiece into the vise. Oh, actually, before I do that, not quite done here. I get ahead of myself sometimes. Alright, that's tight. That's oh. 0. Just over 0.1. All right, it's good enough for me. Just a quick note before we get started. The 0.01 of a millimeter that I was off by is less than half a thou, just under half a thou. So, pretty accurate. I got some crud on there. Okay, so what the plan is today is to take, I got a couple scraps here that I've cut off. And what I'm going to make are blocks that will sit in these slots. You know, one there, and then I'll just use one of these for this slot. These ones are pretty straightforward. All I got to do is make them the right size on the top and then flip them over, make them a different size. As you can see, sort of, maybe you can see I have my sizes here. The vise is not exactly straight, so I'm going to have to do a custom one for that. The rotary table, all of these are precision milled to 640 thou. And then my mill actually has a table, the table width of these T-slots are 470 thou. So it'll just be a case of machining a large size for the top and a narrower size for the bottom. Alright guys, as you can see, I've got two of them almost finished. This one is completely finished, and I'll show you over here. It slips into the slot, and actually I gotta get my little pry bar in here to pull it out. And it also fits, oh, it did fit, here we go, fits in there. A little bit of sanding just to finish it off. It looks really rough because I have filed it, and my file is not all that great, but just a little bit of sandpaper. I have some 320 emery cloth that I'll use for that. This one actually fits a whole lot nicer in these slots. It sits down in there. There's absolutely no movement. There's only about maybe 2 thou, maybe 1 to 2 thou of clearance, so it sits in there real nice. Now, this guy here is going to be almost the exact same as this guy to fit in this bottom slot. This started off as a rough piece of aluminum. I've basically cleaned up the 4 sides, not the ends, not yet anyways. And this is a saw cut, that's why it looks a little weird. But as you can see, just by sheer chance, it is almost the right height. Move this up a bit. You can see it's off by maybe 20 thou, 15 thou. And that's good enough. So all I've got to do is create the profile so that this piece looks like this piece. And there we go, it focused. Alright guys, we're going to start off by doing a little bit of measuring, figuring out what I need to do. So, I already know the heights are okay. I might put this through a little pass if it doesn't quite fit in the slot right. But what I'm going to do first, and I'm working around a whole lot of stuff here, let's move that out of the way. First, I'm going to measure this. I'm using the micrometer here because I want to be a little more precise than I am with the... I got to do it this way. I want to be a little bit more precise than I am usually with the Werner. 633.5. And I need to do some math, so I'm going to write this down. Alright, so you can see we got 633. I know it's a little difficult to see. The initial measurement of my rotary table was 640. That was with the Werner. And the end size ended up being just a little bit smaller. So now, where did my micrometer end up? I dropped it somewhere. Here it is. I didn't drop it. I set it down gently. We got, if I can get this thing to open up far enough, we got 775, 74. Okay, so since I'm completely inept at math, we're going to go over here. We're going to go 774 minus 633, 141 divided by 2. I hit the plus, but it's close enough. So we need to take off 70 thou. And I'm going to write that down. 70. Oh, that's wrong. That should be a 0. We need to take 70 thou off of each side in order to get the slot, the large end of this piece that will fit into my mill table, my rotary table. Pop this in. Close that up. Now, what I'm going to do is I've got to come in and over, and I've got to make sure that this is all locked up. Okay. And we're going to come down till this is really close to touching. Doesn't need to be real close. Technically, it only needs to be, it only needs to come down just a little bit more than this little lip right here. But I want as much clearance as possible. All right. Now, start it up. And we're going to come in until we just touch, actually. A little marker on it. We're just touching. Now we have to do the exact same thing on the other side. Throwing stuff all over the place here. Alright, now we take a measurement, and it should be right around 630. Alright, what do we got? 628. That should be okay. Let's see if it'll slide in. This slot up here, for some reason, is just a teensy bit narrower than this slot down here. And it's a little loose fitting, but it doesn't actually move when it's in that slot. It does slide, but it doesn't move left or right. So that'll work just fine. Now, there it is. Now, that is that piece done. What I need to do now is the narrower spot. So we're going to do it the exact same way. This one fits so much better, so I'm going to use it for a measurement. What do we got? 463. And what do we got over here? You know, before I even look at that, I'm going to write down 463. And what do we got on this? We got 748. So we're going to come in till we hit this. And we're going to come in 20 thou. This will take a while, so I'm going to come back when it's almost complete. We were looking for 463. Alright, let's see how that fits. See, it actually drops down in there, which it shouldn't do. It should be like a push down in. And it does move a little bit. Let's actually find out how much it moves. This isn't going to give me an exact, but it'll tell me approximately how much it moves. Looks to be about 5 thou, maybe a little bit less. But you know what? I think I can live with that. Alright. There's actually one more step. If you'll notice, the bottoms of these are much different. So I gotta mill the top of this go. You see I've put a little mark on there. I've got to get rid of everything up to that line. Let's clean this off a little bit first. So, let's go. There. Sits in there pretty nice. Something else I wanted to mention too. These two pieces, because of the way I've made them, cannot be used at the same time. I have to use one or the other because of their differences in dimension. Not the top, obviously, but the sides. This one might be like this dimension here, and this dimension here might be off by 5 thou this way, and then this one might be 5 thou off this way. So if I try to put them together, they're not going to even fit into the slot because they're going to be 10 thou difference. Alright, there we are. It's on the bottom of my vise. These are temporary. I'm probably going to countersink this a little bit, but luckily it was short enough that it fits in between these centers. And it's actually not too deep that it doesn't hit the bottom of the T-slot in there. So I got my indicator in here. We're going to see how this works. Now keep in mind I'm doing this with one hand, so it's a little awkward. But it sits in there. There's no movement left or right, although I am rocking my entire mill. Where's my wrench? Right there in front of me. Put that down tight. And that one's tight. Now, with this bar on the bottom of this, I can't actually use these anchors to swivel it. What I've got to do is, you can see there's a ring there. What I got to do is loosen this one and this one, and that will allow me to swivel this top part without moving the bottom part. And that's how I got to adjust it now. So bring it down. Okay, that's good right there. Now, see if I can get a decent picture here. That's pretty good. Maybe I'll move it over a little bit so it's more in line. Well, that's about as good as I got, unless I want my camera to start falling over. Alright, gotta turn that. Call that 0. It's not exactly 0, but it's close. And then, if we walk it across, oh, camera's going to move a little bit. I'll try to keep it steady here. There you go. Almost one side to the other. I started about here, so it wasn't quite to the edge. But I traveled that entire distance and moved 0.01 of a millimeter, which is about 4/100ths of an inch. 4/10,000ths of an inch. So, just by doing that simple thing, I've saved myself 20 minutes, probably not that long. But I've saved myself a lot of time every time I want to put the vise on and off. And the same for the rotary table. Although when you're using the rotary table flat, it's not necessarily... the hell bird was that? When I'm using the rotary table flat, it's not necessary to have these lined up. Unless you're doing some specific work where you need the right angles and stuff. I gotta clean this. But where it will come in handy is, here, I'll take this. See if I can get this to work with one hand without dropping and breaking something. Oh. Use this one instead, it fits a little bit better. Put that there. And then this sits right on that. And then all I have to do is lock this down, run my indicator across it once or twice, and it's going to be perfect. And a lot of this motion is because there's all sorts of crud on here and it's not quite sitting down flat. So you should make some of these for yourself. They're very easy to make, and they make your job so much easier. It's a lot of easy. Just like always, if you guys have any interest in seeing me make something specific, please leave it in the comments. And have yourselves a good day.